I had upgraded the account. I needed the 10% to get the 1.5x, so that would make it 100k to 150k. After I made 9.6%, 9.8%, so I was 9,800 up. I lost the account that night. I ended up getting into, I think it was some shorts on gold, and it just kept on going and going and going. Just kept on going. It wouldn't stop. I was thinking I've got to close it out. I should have closed it out at first. I thought I'd close it out at BE, but no, it didn't end up. Then I went $2,000 to, and I thought, now it reverses. I should close it at BE, but it just didn't, and it ended up going 10% in drawdown, or 5%. Sorry, is what the maximum was. So I lost overall around, what's that, 15%? Manifestation's probably been the biggest thing. I always knew that I'd be a millionaire. Mm-hmm. I just had no clue how I was going to get that. I had no clue what I was going to do to become a millionaire. And before I got into trading, I was a builder. I mean, you're not going to become a millionaire being a builder. And furthermore, I hated it.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another interview here at the Bespoke funding program. Today we have a guy who has had, I think, the biggest amount of payouts that we've had so far on this channel, of at least the most overall payment. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So hello.
I didn't know that. Biggest overall payments.
Yeah, I think so. That we've had on the podcast.
Oh, I thought you meant overall.
Yeah, I don't think overall, but that we've had on the podcast so far. I think you're the biggest so far.
Made me feel special for a minute.
I'm sorry, I had to snatch that back away from you. So for those that are at home watching, who don't know who you are, would you like to just give a quick introduction, who you are and where you're from?
Yeah. So I'm Alfie. I'm from Essex. I've been trading for about 3 years. Do I look at the camera? I feel like I should look at the camera a little bit. Be a little bit interactive. Be a little bit interactive with the audience a bit. But I'm a trader. I've been trading for 3 years. Mm-hmm. Around 3 years. Profitable for the last 9 months to a year. Okay. Somewhere around that region. And yeah, it's been a journey and a half, really.
Cool.
I work with George Mortimer and Westwater Associates, and we're in a hedge fund and a trading teaching platform, I guess you could call it that. Teaching platform. So yeah, that's essentially it.
That's cool. So how old are you?
I'm 25.
Okay. How did you get into trading?
Funny story. My Matt, who owns GM, he's been trading since he was 15. I think it's 7 years he's been trading, something like that. And he ended up getting me into trading. Firstly, he got me into crypto. This was in 2020, I believe, somewhere around that. He got me into crypto, and then I started looking into crypto. I thought, this is incredible. Then in the end, he started teaching me about the candlesticks and all these different things, like the very, very, very beginner things of trading. And so I thought, all right, this is interesting. Started looking into it. Then we started talking about the numbers, what you can earn. If you have $1 million account, you can earn 10% in a week. All of this, that old school stuff. And then in the end, I ended up getting into trading. I started learning, developing the skills a little bit. Took me a while until eventually he brought me into the office. That was about, I'm not too sure long after I was trading that he brought me in, but he brought me in a little bit after. And then, I was in the office, carried on learning, which then being in the office with Matt and Charlie and all those, that kind of propelled my trading into, a different level of, skill, which is incredible.
Yeah, I can imagine. Obviously for us as just retail traders, just sat at home trading, being in an environment where you're sat around real traders that are trading real people's capital, that must be a completely different ball game.
It's completely different. And having, it's that first-hand experience. You're watching people, and it's not like, you go to all these courses, you go to ICT or anyone that you really like, anyone you're getting a mentor from, then like, you kind of send them a message, they don't get back to you. But being in the office, I can go, well, Matt, like, I have this problem. What can I do? And watching what they're doing and listening to a conversation that they're having about trading and how they can improve their trading. It's like, oh, I can implement these things. So I think I had a little bit of a head start when it comes to, being in the office with them. Whereas a lot of people, they don't really get that benefit. Yeah. So I think with that kind of propelled me a lot quicker than most traders are actually to become profitable.
Yeah, I can imagine that was a very big push, and
big push.
I can imagine even continuously, like as you develop as a trader, that's gonna be beneficial for you.
100%.
Just to be on that trading floor with them, watching them trade live real people's assets under management.
That's incredible.
That must be game changing.
Yeah, it's incredible. But it's a bit, when it comes to GM and us teaching people, and because I've become now one of the head teachers at GM.
Okay, cool.
So I don't only, work in the office, I actually work for GM. I actually teach people how to trade now.
Yeah.
And because of that, like, first-hand experience and having people that were there for me straight away, as soon as I had a problem, they were ready on hand. All right, what do you need? Let's help. Let's do this. Let's do that. That's kind of how I approach teaching within GM now, because a lot of people, they have a skewed way of thinking when it comes to trading. They try and work on things that just don't help them in the slightest. Like, they work in the wrong way. It's not about working hard, although it is about working hard. But the biggest thing is working smart and figuring out how to actually create a profitable model. I don't think many people really know how to do that. And when you're working with, a mentor, if you buy a course that is teaching you just, video platform videos that you're just watching and trying to take in that information, you can't ask information on them. And so what I like to do with the GM members is to first-hand teach, and that's obviously not meeting them up, but if someone has a question, straight away, come and text me, come and message me on Discord, whatever you need help with, and I'm always ready to give that help. And I think, having them help me, I think that's really pushed me to help other people. It's really nice.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's an important topic to speak on about as well, is the difference between taking a trading course and actually taking on mentorship, because I think they're completely different.
Totally different.
You can sit there and watch, like you say, thousands of hours of videos of a course, or have a course book where you're just literally reading words, which is even worse, I think.
Yeah.
But to have someone there for you to be able to go to and ask them questions at any point, that is what traders need, not just a course.
Changes things completely.
It does.
Because the market changes every time.
Exactly.
It's an algorithm. It's never the same. There's never two the same things that pop up twice. We can have similarities, but within those similarities is where people get confused, I think. That's where people go, oh, well, I don't know what's going on. So they miss a trade, or they don't get into a trade, or whatever it is. They just miss something.
Yeah,
and I think
absolutely.
Because of that variability helps a lot when you have that one-on-one with someone.
Yeah, 100%. I've actually noticed that I started mentoring about a year ago, and it's only been through summer markets that we're pretty much still in, is when people are coming with questions like they've had a system and it's been working, but then summer markets come and they're like, shit, my system's not working now.
Changes.
And they're like, okay, but what? Like, what's happening? If they didn't have me there to ask questions and for me to be able to say, like, look, listen, just take a little bit of a break, maybe change up the way you're trading, not your strategy, just the way you're trading a little bit, and see if that improves. But if they didn't have me there to do that, then they would probably just go on complete tilt, change up their strategy, think everything's just wrong, and it would be a completely different ballgame for them.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, I completely agree with that. The whole mentorship thing, like being able to teach people and be that person for people to go to, completely different from watching just hella videos on a course.
Yeah, it's nice. Gives you a lot more value.
Exactly.
A lot more value.
Exactly. Yeah. So getting a bit more deeper into you, would you say that there's been any significant experiences in your life as an individual that have helped you to be a better trader? So before you were trading, anything significant that you can think of that gave you that mindset to now be a successful trader?
Well, I think I come from like a wealthy family. I mean, a lot of the traders that I talk to and a lot of the people I interact with, they come from like a poorer background. And so I don't have that. So a lot of them have that natural drive, you could say, to, become successful because they've never had it. Whereas I come from a more of, I would say, a wealthy background. My old man has a business that goes quite well. And so we never struggled for anything. So I think, rather than having that ambition to become successful, I've already seen it, and it pushes me to become what he is now. And I also think that it's going to sound very weird, but manifestation, I think that had a big effect. And yeah, I love it. But manifestation has probably been the biggest thing. I always knew that I'd be a millionaire. I just had no clue how I was going to get that. I had no clue what I was going to do to become a millionaire. And before I got into trading, I was a builder. I mean, you're not going to become a millionaire being a builder. And furthermore, I hated it. Hated it. So I had no clue what I was going to do. So I think that more the law of effort and the manifestation that pushed me towards law of effort. Did I say the law of
Law of attraction.
law of attraction? Yeah, I'm already thinking.
We know what you meant.
Yeah, LOE. But the law of attraction, that kind of, I feel like, and also luck. I would say that also luck had a thing to do with it. It weren't just manifesting, but luck had a big thing to do with it.
Okay.
But knowing that I was going to be a millionaire, then obviously with Matt coming along, and I thought, there's my opportunity. I know I'm going to do it. And then obviously once that come along, I think that was probably the thing that made me realise that I was going to be a trader and going to be a millionaire. Even more important. But I think that those things are probably the biggest pushers for me. So yeah, I would say so. More manifestation, more seeing success already. Mm-hmm. That was the biggest pusher.
That's very different to what we're used to hearing, because like you say, most traders I think come from poorer backgrounds. Me, for example, I never grew up with wealth. Like, I never went without anything, but I was like, my parents aren't rich. They've always worked, been in the system, etc, etc. So to hear it from someone who has come from a background where you like never really wanted for anything, you've seen the success. And would you say that was like a norm for you because you've grown up seeing it? Obviously, your dad runs his own business. Would you say that is like a norm? Like, that is what you should be doing?
Yeah, I would say so. Mm-hmm. I think, if he's... What you usually see when you watch movies, right, and you see that the dad's rich or they're wealthy, the son's always they always slack, they're always lazy, they always do shit they're not supposed to. Yeah. I think with me, I thought the opposite stance. I thought he's successful, I've got to be a bit more successful than him, no matter what. So seeing him be, wealthy, having a good business, that definitely gave me more of a drive to actually become successful myself. Mm-hmm. So I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think growing up seeing someone, obviously that is probably your main role model growing up, seeing your dad being successful, it could have gone either way. Like you say, it could have gone either way for you. You could have just grown up as a brat and thought, I'm not doing anything. Yeah. Like my dad's got money, I don't need to. Yeah. But instead you've gone the other way of that's been your role model and that's someone that you would aspire to be like. And not only that, but be better than them as well.
100%.
So that is completely different to how most traders come into this, because I think most traders come into this, like I said, from poorer backgrounds, and they want more from life. Mm-hmm. They're not happy to settle for average. And yeah, like we just strive to have more. But because of that, it's also a struggle. But because we come from less, we have the mindset of less. So I think when we come from those poorer backgrounds, we have to do a lot more work on ourselves to be able to change our mindset, to accept that we can be rich and it doesn't have to end here. Like, we don't have to follow our parents' footpath.
You have no security whatsoever, zero security. Yeah. I think that's also when I started trading and when I started to go for more for funded accounts, I had that security. If I failed an account, there was a situation where I lost, when MFF were up and running and they had the 50k instant accounts. Yes. There was a situation where I got $2,000 together, I got my own account. I ended up, I got paid out, I got it upgraded to the next account, which is 100k, because every 10% you then doubled 1.5 times your capital. It went 2x, 1.5x, 2x, so on, so on, so on. And then after upgrading it, I actually lost the account, and there was a situation where I just talked to my dad and I said, Dad, look, everything's going well. And this was at the very, very start of me becoming profitable. Things were starting to work. I started to find things. I was like, oh, okay, this is starting to work. I'm actually becoming consistent. And then once I lost that account, silly move by me, I held on to a trade. I was like, what am I doing? Ended up hitting SL, which actually with that account, funny story, it was just before Christmas. I think it was mid-December. And what happened was I had upgraded the account. I needed the 10% to get the 1.5x, so that I'd make it 100k to 150k. After I made 9.6%, 9.8%, so I was 9,800 up. I lost the account that night. I ended up getting into, I think it was some shorts on gold, and it just kept on going and going and going. Just kept on going. It wouldn't stop. I was thinking I've got to close it out. I should have closed it out. At first I thought I'd close it out at BE, but no, it didn't end up. Then I went $2,000 and I thought, now it reverses. I should close it at BE, but it just didn't. And it ended up going 10% in drawdown, or 5%, sorry, is what the maximum was. So I lost overall around, what's that, 15%? nearly 10% up to 5% down. Yeah, around 15% with that one trade, and yeah, that blew me. That destroyed me. But after that, I did sit back and I focused on my trading a little bit more, and that's when I approached my dad, and that's where we come back to the security. Is then I was able to talk to him and say, Dad, look, I've made X, Y, Z. I didn't tell him about the 15%, granted, but I said, you know, in this,
He's gonna know now.
Yeah, he's gonna know. I don't think he'll watch it. He doesn't watch these type of things. I don't think he'd be too interested in watching an hour of me talking. He hears me talking every day anyway. But yeah, I ended up going to him and said, look, this could be the thing for me. And he did, and I got that account up to 150k. Then I lost that one. Now we're going through all my accounts. So I lost that one. Then I bought another one. So I used the profits to buy another account. I think I lost that one straight away, like that within like a day or two. Yeah, like literally straight away, because I was getting excited. Yeah. Because now I'd seen a few payouts and I was like, oh, okay. I got like what? I think it was 2,000 for the first account. Then I upgraded and then destroyed. Then the second one was 2,000 from the first payout. Because you only got 50%. 50% is so minimal. Really? And it's in dollars, yeah? You only got 50% profit split.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't nice. But then after, that was in dollars as well. So
okay,
then it reverts to pounds. So you're only getting, you know, out of 5,000 you make, you're only getting around 2,000, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. But after that, what was I going on? I was talking about my account. So I got the amount for that. Then I've done the second account. I got $2,000 and then like $4,000 for the second upgrade. Then after that, lost the account. So now I had about $6,000. So now I bought another account, lost that, bought another one. So this is my fourth now, 50k instant. And this is all because I hated the evaluation accounts. Hated them. Couldn't stand them. I have to wait a month. I have to trade for a month.
Yeah.
I have to trade and not get paid for it. What's going on? And so I just went for these, but they were so much more expensive. But when I failed, it was also so much more expensive.
Yeah.
And then obviously we went from those accounts. Then in the end, I did go for evaluations. After failing all these accounts, I thought, okay, I've got to stop doing this. I'm not going to last very long. So then I changed everything again. I went completely into scalping because I was looking at swing trading and scalping, which we can go on to that. Into, you know, there's a whole different thing. But yeah.
Well, let's get into it. What kind of trader are you?
I'm a scalper.
Okay.
I'm a scalper, full-fledged scalper. I used to be a swing trader. I used to be an intraday trader. Become a scalper. Went to intraday, back to scalper. So I've gone through everything at the minute. And well, how it goes is I started off as a swing trader. SMC concepts. That's the very first thing I started on. Yeah, I know the old SMC concepts. So I started on those, and then I ended up trading those for about, I think, around 8 months to a year, maybe. That was when I was first getting into trading and learning. And then after that, I got into swing trading, and I was focusing on the 4-hour legs, a 15-minute break, and I started trading that for about 6 months. And this is when it's about a year and a half into my trading. That's when I first started going for the evaluation accounts. And so I went for my first FTMO at this point, and that was a 10k FTMO. And what was it? I not failed it. I got a free retry 5 times.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's a world record. It's not, I know, but it's you know, it was 5 months of again and again and again, and that was all through swing trading. And so in the end, I changed it up a little bit. And this is when I'm coming to that 2-year mark, is coming up to that Christmas where I started getting the 50k accounts. On the 5th retry, will everyone know about the free retries?
Yeah, I should do with FTMO. Yeah.
But on the 5th retry, I ended up getting into scalping. Then after that, I traded the 10k scalping. Obviously lost it straight away because I just started scalping again. And then, yeah, that's it, really.
No way.
Yeah, then from scalping, intraday, then back to scalping. So now I'm full-fledged scalping, only
Pure
gold.
scalping.
Yeah.
Okay, just on gold as well?
Just gold.
Wow, scalping on gold.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That is very interesting. See, I used to be a scalper. If I find myself in a lot of drawdown, I'll tend to scalp my way out of it. But scalping for me was very hard psychologically. Yeah. Like, I just couldn't deal with the stress of like being in a trade, closing, opening another trade, closing, and taking so many trades. So now I've stepped back and adopted more of a swing trading approach, which for me, it suits me perfectly with everything that I've got going on. That is perfect for me. What is the effect for you on your psychology? Like, is there any difference between scalping and swing trading?
I would say yes, but I also want to say no, because I think with any model where you're consistent on it, you know whether you should be taking trades or you shouldn't be taking trades. So it shouldn't really affect what your, what your trades are or how you're approaching any sort of trades. But, when you're looking at the charts for 12 hours a day, which I'd sit from 7 a.m. up until maybe 7 p.m. And then when I get home, I'll also be on the charts. I'll be looking at my laptop as I'm doing things. I think once you're on the charts for that amount of time, it can get a little bit taxing on your psychology, and you can start to think to yourself like, oh, should I be getting, like, towards the end of the night, you're thinking, should I get into this trade? I've already gotten into 10 trades today, or maybe 5 trades today. I don't take 10 anymore. I used to. That's what I used to do. But now taking 3-4 trades a day, you think, oh, I've earned 8,000 today. Is it worth it? Yeah. So.
Yeah, I can imagine. And again, that just goes to show, like, every trader is completely different, because for you, scalping works and doesn't have any effect on your psychology, whereas for me, scalping really fucks with my psychology. So swing trading, just not even thinking about the trade and just letting it run, that suits me perfectly. So it just goes to show, like, every single person is different when it comes to trading, whether that's on the charts or psychologically. That brings us nicely, actually, to something that I wanted to talk to you about. So you recently tweeted about discipline and how you are very disciplined when it comes to the charts, but when it comes to just general life, it doesn't really matter about your discipline. So whenever people are struggling with their discipline in trading, I always say, right, go back to your general life. Are you disciplined in your life? If you're not disciplined in your life, then that will probably follow over to the charts. But obviously, your stance on it is
a
little bit different. So talk to me about that.
So I don't think it's the case for all people. I don't think that everybody should be, not disciplined outside of trading and disciplined at trading. I think for the majority of people, I think that they should be disciplined in both areas.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it's more of a case of I don't know, if trading's your job. When you're a builder or when you're doing any other job, you don't take that work home. Most people we know don't really have a set routine outside of their work. Yeah. Why are we going to treat trading any different? Like, I don't have a great diet. I don't go to the gym very regularly. I probably should, but I don't very regularly, and it's harder for me to get into that rhythm of doing things outside of work. But when it comes to the charts, it's just a matter of, just looking at the charts. You know what you're supposed to do. That's it. You're just supposed to do what you're supposed to do. But outside of it, I mean, we have a little bit more leeway in life, I guess you could say. We have a bit more leeway in what we eat. I can have that hot dog and not feel it tomorrow. I can have that burger. I can have those chicken nuggets. And I won't feel it tomorrow. I can work out. But with trading, it isn't work really like that, is it? If you're blowing a count, you can't get that back the next day. You have to put something in to get them back out of it, which it is, a little bit in life, but generally we have a lot more leeway when it comes to these sort of things. Okay,
it does make sense, because I think as traders we are naturally kind of allowing it to take over our lives. I would say, like, we live and breathe the trading. I know, speaking for myself, trading is everything. Like, everything I'm doing outside of actual trading is still trading related. Like, even me doing this, I'm talking about trading. So I live and breathe trading. So I think for people that are naturally maybe a little bit more disciplined in life, I think trading will be easier for them. But I think if people are struggling with being disciplined in trading, do you think that if they did adopt a little bit more discipline in their general life,
I do think so,
that could help them with their trading discipline?
It won't hurt, will it? I mean, it will never hurt. It can only help it. It's just, for me, it's not a necessity. I don't think. But I also think that it's funny that most of the traders I talk to, when I talk to scalpers, they always seem a little bit more erratic, a little bit more, out of the system.
A bit crazy.
They do what they want outside of life. They go party and they go do whatever they want to do. They're not that disciplined in life. But when it comes to more swing traders, and every swing trader that I talk to, they always seem to have this, I must do this. I have a bedtime routine. I must follow it. I must, eat at this time. I must go to the gym. It always seems like the swing traders are very, very, very disciplined in their life. Yeah. But I think the scalpers, all the scalpers I talk to, they always seem to be a little bit more erratic and do what they want when they want. And I think think it works with, with swing trading, you're waiting, you're patient, you have to sit there, okay, this is tap, we have to do this, this. But with scalping, there can be so many situations that go on all the time. You have to change things up sometimes. And I think that's, it kind of works with our lives as a scalper and swing traders. They can do their own thing.
Yeah. You know what? That actually makes a lot of sense.
It does. It's funny. I only realised once I talked to a couple of scalpers that I knew that on Discord. And they all seem like erratic. And I thought, oh, that's funny. I was just like,
you're a bit wild.
Yeah. Ooh, that's funny.
Yeah, no, that actually does make a lot of sense because I think, like you say, swing traders, we have to be patient. Like, we have to wait for that A-star set up to get in. And then when we're in it, we have to be patient because the trade's going to take a lot longer to play out.
You might be in it for weeks.
Exactly. But we have to just sit there and just be chill and just let it run. But whereas scalpers, you're like, right, let's go. Like, I can imagine you all with like your Red Bulls and your coffee, like, right, let's go. Where's the trade? Okay, right, go. Okay, right, close. Like, it is.
It is. And like, sometimes we may get into a trade. Like, there was a gold short that I got into that was in for 5 seconds the other day. Yeah, like a week ago. Last week? Yeah, I think it was last week. Before my last payout, it was like one of the last positions I got into. And it's just a great example of it where, we can be in a trade for 5 seconds. We can be in a trade for, 30 minutes or an hour. But, with that trade, I entered into a short. And I think 5 seconds after I entered a short, there was just like a $2 candle that went down. Wow. And, as a swing trader, like, you may look at that and go, obviously, if you're looking at the 4-hour time frame, if that happens, then, all right, we'll just
confirmation for us.
Yeah, a little bit of confirmation. But for me, that was, right, I need to get out, I'm out, I'm done. That's it.
That's crazy.
I'm done for the day. Yeah, it was crazy, though.
That is
crazy. It was funny because it was supposed to be lower than it was, the TP, but I was in the middle of doing something. I was sorting a quiz out for GM, actually. I was sorting a quiz out. It was a Friday. And I ended up just looking at the chart. I thought, oh, that looks lovely. Entered into the short, moved the TP down really quickly, and I put it above, like, it was like a leg, and I put it like 50% down. I was supposed to put it all the way to the bottom. And I thought, oh, what have I done?
Yeah.
So it's flown through, it's taken out the leg, it's obviously hit TP from me.
Yeah.
I thought, if I was just like focusing on the charts and I was actually looking at it, I would have got the full TP there. Yeah, it was a bit of a pain in the arse. But it was nice. And it also scared me because when you have those sorts of trades and you come back to the charts, you go, where's my trade?
Bet that slipped me out.
What's my balance?
Yeah.
What's going on? So when you look at your balance, you see
you're like,
in profit. Yeah, it does. It sends your heart a little bit because there wasn't an SL on that trade either. I didn't set an SL, so it's like, whoa, what's going on? What's going on? There's no trades. Either hit TP or it's mooned, and I've just taken my account out. But luckily, it died.
Luckily. So that was lucky.
Very lucky. Yeah.
Actually, speaking about that, you said you didn't place a stop loss on that trade.
No.
Do you often place stop losses?
No, I don't usually.
Okay, that's again different from what we're used to hearing. Most people are like, stop loss, TP, like they have to be in place. I set an insurance stop
usually.
Okay.
An insurance stop. I've said this to a lot of people. Nobody ever understands it. But what I do is I'll have my SL, let's say $2 up or $3 up. But what I'll do is I'll set a stop at $7 in case we do get that crazy random move like the story was just telling.
Yeah.
If we do get that move, then it'll take me out. I'll be okay. But, usually that's the insurance stop. But usually I'll close it as soon as I see certain levels. I may see another level above that that it may react from, which a lot of the time it does. But, there are those times where trade does just carry on going against you. Yeah. And you do just have to press the button and close it.
That is similar to how I was trading even a few months ago, like before I adopted more of a swing trading method. I now always place a stop loss. Yeah. But before that, I was very much never ever placing a stop loss. I would just place my trade. I know, right, okay, if it breaches that level, then I'll have to close. But 9 times out of 10, I was just never placing a stop loss. And sometimes it was to my detriment, but then other times it wasn't, because it's like, okay, right, yes, it's gone into drawdown a little bit heavier than what I would want to, but I know where the move is going to go. Yeah. And I'm not exactly precise on my entry, but I'm still believing that I know it's going to go in a certain direction. So I just wouldn't place a stop loss because I know that it's going to go somewhere.
Yeah. And 95% of the time it works.
Yeah.
95% of the time it works, but sometimes you get that odd trade, it just carries on going against you, and you're like, oh, what's going on? Yeah. Shouldn't be doing that. Yeah. That happened to one of my MFF accounts that I lost. It was a 200k account, and it was a Frankfurt short. I tried to get into a Frankfurt short, and this Frankfurt just carried on going. It just kept on going. I thought, what's going on? And then I ended up just leaving it. It just breached. Shit. Yeah, I just left it. I thought, that's funny. What happened there?
Yeah.
I wasn't even angry. I was just like, it doesn't make sense. Why don't we
Yeah.
just carry on?
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense.
Do you think that's ego?
Maybe a little bit.
I
'Cause
always
you feel
used
like
to
you
say
should
that.
be right. You feel like,
Yeah.
well, I have around an 80% win rate.
Okay.
So, if the trade's going against me, I'm like, that shouldn't
That shouldn't be happening.
It shouldn't be happening. Why is it happening? But yeah, I think generally a little bit of ego comes into it. You feel like you should be right because you've entered a trade you think is going down. And when you're wrong, why am I shouldn't be wrong.
Yeah.
Why am I wrong? But yeah, I think a little bit of ego. Maybe a little bit of greediness as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you see that you're in profit and then you like say you're in 10,000 profit, goes down to 7. You think, oh, it's not that 10 number now. I'm going to wait for it to go to 8.
Yeah.
When it gets to 8, I'll close it. Then it gets to 8, and you think, oh, yeah, it's got to 8. It could get to 9. And I do these things frequently. This is what I'm looking at the charts. I'm thinking, all right, I might just close it out now. I try and follow it. That is one thing that's probably, a weakness within my trading, is seeing a trade run and thinking, all right, I should close this. Like on Friday, I had a trade that went $2,000 into profit, and I ended up closing it in the negative. I usually target around $1 to $2 worth of move.
Mm-hmm.
That was a $1 to $2 move. I should have closed it. But it was Friday. I wanted to get into the market. I wanted a little bit of a bigger trade. It's one of those things. I don't think any trader, obviously do, but I don't think many traders can get past that ego phase of just removing yourself. That's what I'm supposed to do. Just do it. I think there's a lot of traders that struggle with it. And even myself, I struggle with it sometimes. I don't think anyone's robotic. Some of us, we want to get bigger trades, and sometimes they don't play. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think that's a good thing to talk about as well. Like the fact that we are as traders fighting against our egos all the time.
It's hard.
It is really hard.
It is hard sometimes, especially when you're on a win streak. When you're on a win streak,
Absolutely.
it's super hard to admit that you're wrong.
Yeah.
You think, oh, all right, maybe I was wrong about that. And sometimes you need to sit back and just accept it. Because on that situation, I ended up closing the trade, and then later on in the day, really, really nice trade presented itself. I ended up not taking that because I took the loss. I
Okay.
don't want to lose any more today. So that ended up playing out lovely. Ended up closing it right at TP. Lovely. That was on a few other accounts on Funded Next, TFT, a few of the other prop firms that are going on. But yeah, if I had just closed the trade where I wanted to and not let the ego get in the way, then I would have been able to take that trade and I would have felt more comfortable taking it. But yeah, it's one of those things.
Yeah, no, it's so understandable. Like I say, as traders, it is something that we fight against all the time, and we do have a lot of these gurus out there or just general influencers that will say you have to take your emotion away. If you win, you can't be excited. If you lose, you can't be devastated. But we're human. We're attached to money in some capacity.
We always are.
And we can't change that.
If you get a pay rise at work, you're going to get happy, aren't you?
Exactly.
Oh, I've been paid this week.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a false narrative that has been pushed out, really, isn't it?
I agree.
I don't really agree with it. I think that, you should be happy when you take a win. When you get a win, you should be a little bit like, nice, I was right.
Yeah.
Pat on the back.
Yeah.
When you're wrong, all right, that's annoyed me a little bit, fair enough. But you shouldn't annoy you to the point where you're going to start getting into trades and start revenge trading and start going against everything. Be upset about it. Just step away.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Just have that. That's when the discipline comes in.
And exactly. I think that is the point that people need to focus on rather than saying, no, you need to be robotic. You can't have emotions and feelings over trading, because at the end of the day, we're very emotionally attached to it. We're emotionally attached to the charts and we're emotionally attached to the money that we can make from trading. Yeah. So I think having that discipline, exactly.
You enjoy it.
Exactly.
If you take emotions away, I love my job. I love trading.
Yeah.
It's my favourite thing in the world. But if I took emotion away,
what are you doing it for?
Enjoy. Yeah, there's nothing to enjoy.
Exactly.
So I don't really understand it.
Yeah. But I think what you said about implementing that discipline element, to know when to step away, if you've taken that loss, just step away. That is the thing that people need to start talking about.
Step away. That's all it is.
Exactly.
Just walk away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. If only we could make ourselves a little bit more robotic. It would be nice.
It would be easier.
Yeah, it would be.
It would be. But
less enjoyable.
We have to face it. We're human.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have emotions.
Maybe we'll need a little bit of trauma in our life, don't we? We need a little bit of trauma.
There
just
we
to
go.
Numb us up a little bit.
There we go. Make us a little bit more savage to accept the losses.
Yeah.
You know, push us forward. We all need a little bit of trauma.
Need a little bit of trauma.
If we can
We need to
avoid
be
it.
cheated on by someone, that's it. Well, as we go
Into the charts.
boom, that's it.
Yeah.
I know exactly what I need to do.
Yeah.
Buy. That's all right. That's it. Oh, stop loss. Fair enough. Sell.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of robotic trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. So, delving a little bit more into that kind of thing.
Trauma?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you really struggled with when you first started trading? And is there anything now that you still struggle with a little bit? So is anything still a bit traumatic? Do you still have PTSD over any trades?
No. It sounds, I don't know if it sounds, big-headed or anything like that, but there wasn't anything that I, really struggled with as I was coming into trading. Obviously, I was talking about at the start being with the boys at GM,
Yeah.
having them to answer anything that kind of took away any real stress that I had about trading. There wasn't really anything that I would say set me back. Nowadays, I think it would be probably that little bit of ego thing. I think it would probably be that, taking myself away a little bit and accepting a loss, accepting that it's only going to be a 1,000 win, or, when it does go to $5,000, just close it, be happy with it. Don't try to reach for more. I think that's probably one of the bigger problems I have with trading now. But outside of that, I don't think there's too many issues.
Okay, that's good.
Maybe a little bit more sleep. That would be nice.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah, I
Wouldn't
would.
we all?
I would.
Do you still find yourself, like, when you wake up in the morning, do you check the charts as soon as you wake up?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't trade before Frankfurt.
Okay, that's good.
That's if I'm not already at the charts. My sleep pattern's a little bit iffy. It's not great. I may get about 2 to 3 hours a night.
Really?
Yeah, I've been told I have a mutated gene, but I don't. Obviously, it's not. Yeah, I don't believe it. I've been told that.
You're an alien.
Yeah, someone. He's a brain guy. He works in brains, so he said you might have a mutated gene. I thought.
What does that mean?
And basically, I forgot what he called it. It had it's like a word this long, but he said that it gives me the ability to work a lot with very little sleep.
Oh, that's good.
And I can sleep 3 hours a night, 4 hours a night, and still perform at the same level.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I wish I had
I
that.
got 3 hours last night.
That's crazy.
Yeah, totally fine. Yeah.
If I don't get like 6 to 8 hours,
I'm the
I can't
complete
function.
opposite. Yeah, a lot. Matt's like that. He needs a lot of sleep. He usually gets around, goes to sleep at 11, wakes up at 5. He's in that routine. He needs that. But me, I can be up till 3, wake up at 5, go to work. I'll be a bit tired in the morning, granted.
It's crazy.
But yeah, once I'm up and I'm in the car and I'm driving to work, then I'm totally fine.
Just fine. Even throughout the day, you don't have any dips
totally
or anything.
I'll get home, and recently it's actually been attacking me. I say that, but it's been like that all my life. But recently, I've been having this like thing where I get home and I'll go,
Really?
oh, what's going on?
You're getting old.
Yeah, you know what? I think it is 25. I feel so old. And it's even worse because the boys, they're 21s and
They're
19s.
young, aren't they? Yeah.
They're all so young.
Yeah.
I think, oh, bloody hell. So they listen to a few different songs I've never heard before. I thought, oh, I'm getting so old. What's going on?
That is so funny.
My pinky finger's hurting. I played golf today. It's hurting. My pinky finger's hurting. My back ain't going yet. But I'm
getting
it's coming
arthritis
soon.
already.
It's coming soon. It's coming. I know it is. It's going to
That's
start.
funny.
I'm not excited.
Yeah, that is interesting. That whole sleep thing, that is really interesting.
Yeah, it's funny. I really don't need much sleep.
That's
whatsoever.
cool.
Yeah.
Do you fuel yourself with caffeine?
No, not at all. I can't
Really?
drink caffeine. Barely drink caffeine. It's only recently. We stay in the office a couple nights a week. So we stay in the office Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we go Monday, go home. Tuesday we'll come in, we'll sleep in the office. Go home on Wednesday, then come in on Thursday, sleep in the office. Friday we'll go home.
Oh, okay.
So we've been doing really, really long hours in the office. But what was I going to say? Caffeine. But I don't, drink much caffeine. It's only recently that I've started getting a Red Bull.
Okay.
And the reason I don't drink caffeine is because I get jitters. I don't really put much in my body.
Okay.
In terms of caffeine, in terms of stimulants or anything like that. So when I have a caffeine, really makes me, I feel like I'm coming
Okay.
down towards the end. So it
Yeah.
might be 3 hours and I'll be like, oh, I feel really sluggish. My body won't feel nice. So I don't drink caffeine
No way.
at all. Yeah. It's only when we do those nights in the office, I might.
Have a Red Bull.
But yeah, it's I can't drink caffeine. It
That
makes me
is-
feel too horrible.
Yeah, that is interesting. Like I say again, majority of the traders that I've spoken to, it's either
Stimulated
coffee or Monsters.
all the time. Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Monsters, I can't. Like Monsters, Red, any type of energy drink.
I like a Red Bull.
That gives me anxiety. It's really strange. Like I get the
get that.
jitters,
I
and I'm
understand
like,
that.
I'm
Yeah.
anxious.
I understand that.
So like my 1 cup of coffee, as soon as I wake up in the morning, that is all I can handle.
You only have the one?
Only one.
Just one?
Yeah. If I have any more, like you say, like I'll start
I'll get jittery. I
Yeah.
don't understand. I don't understand how people can drink it all day.
All day?
All day. 5 cups of coffee. What?
Yeah.
How? And I hate the taste of coffee as well.
Oh, I do love a coffee, but it has to be
I hate
milky.
the taste. I think I've got slightly immature taste buds because I hate coffee. I don't like pickles.
Do you like whiskey?
Coffee.
You look like a whiskey guy
No,
to me.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't like spirits.
Okay.
I don't like beer. I know. I'm not really that normal when it comes to.
Do you drink at
eating.
all?
I do drink. I drink vodka and orange.
Oh, I don't like spirits, guys, but I'll drink.
No,
a
I'm
vodka.
guilty to vodka and orange. I do. A little a sex on the beach. I'm a little bit guilty for that.
Okay,
I do
that
like
makes
because
sense.
you can drown out the vodka though.
That's true. You don't have to
You
taste
can drown
it.
it out. You don't have to taste it. You can have a
I
small
hate
drink,
vodka.
small bit of vodka. Yeah, I don't like much drinks, but vodka's mine.
Yeah, no.
I drink a
White
fair bit of
spirits are
vodka.
not for me. Oh no.
White spirits.
Yeah,
I like 'em.
hard on the chest.
Yeah.
That's a very manly thing.
Yeah, I guess so. I
Mm.
guess it is.
Might not drink beer or slap coffees down, yeah, but
Yeah, I drink a little bit of vodka.
yeah,
Does that make me a bit manly? I'll take it.
love that. Love that. Okay, so we've spoken a little bit about you, your mindset, your trading. How have you found trading with Bespoke? What has your experience been like with them?
To be honest, incredible.
Love that.
Obviously, you have that whole Noman situation, didn't you? And I think, yeah, tell me about it. And
Don't start me.
Oh, it's been terrible. I keep on every day on Twitter. I see something new. Bespoke this, bespoke that, MFFX this.
Yeah.
But bloody give it a break, all ya. It's a bit too much. Fair enough. Like you've had all these situations going on with all these different prop firms.
Yeah.
But just give it a break.
Yeah.
Just making it worse for yourself. Really.
Exactly.
I see more people going against him than for him now. Really.
Yeah.
But you know, with everybody's seeing how that's been going on with, you know, the prop firm industry. I think a lot of people are getting a bit nervous about, you know, getting Bespoke or any other prop firm. And I get messages all day about it, every single day. I mean, I made a Twitter like 3 weeks ago and it's been blowing up. As it's been blowing up, I just get flooded with messages. What's about this prop firm? What about that prop firm? And I think with Bespoke, it's probably had the best trading conditions. When
Okay.
it was an 8 cap, it was really, really nice. Think markets,
Really?
Less
I'm the
so.
opposite.
less so.
I was in a trade, what day was it? Thursday. I was in a Euro Yen long. CPI came. I completely forgot that was even in the trade. When it happened, I was like, shit, did I even place a stop loss? I did. When CPI happened, I got stopped at my stop loss.
Exactly.
Exactly. There was no slippage at all.
Wow.
Like, I opened my chart, I was like, fuck. Like, I've probably
Really?
been slipped to hell.
Wow.
There was no
That's
slippage.
impressive.
Yeah, I was so impressed.
I don't experience the slippage. I don't use the stop, but like when I exit the trade, sometimes what I notice is when you're on these lower time frames, is you get a lot of spikes. It's
Yeah.
just like down, up, down, up, down,
Yeah.
up, down, up, which can be a bit challenging
Okay.
to know what's going on with, you know, what direction we're actually choosing. I look at TradingView obviously, but when TradingView goes up, this might stay down here.
Okay,
and
yeah.
It'll take a while to catch up.
Yeah.
So I've not been a fan with Think Markets. It's probably been my only thing, but with 8 cap, I loved it.
Really?
And also the no commissions. That was unreal. That was
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, that
You could
obviously
have-
gold. Yeah, no
Oh,
commission.
mate.
Yeah.
I saved over $7,000 in commissions.
Wow.
Yeah. I've placed 1,150 lots before we changed over to Think Markets.
Shit.
Yeah, and so now obviously 1,150 lots. What's that? $70 a lot. No, $7 a lot. That's 10 lots. Sorry, I work in
More
10
than
lots.
7 grand, isn't it? Just over 7
Yeah,
grand.
about 8 grand, something like that.
Shit, that's
Yeah.
that's really good.
So I saved a lot of money on commissions there. So obviously,
Yeah.
8 cap and Bespoke, I chose 8 cap all the way.
Okay.
But I know 8 caps. Everyone's
I was going to
moving away
say,
from 8
most
cap,
people
ain't they?
complain about 8
Yeah, I see that a lot.
But to be honest, I did always say the conditions that Bespoke have with 8 cap, I think is a lot different to what other firms have.
Yeah.
Because Bespoke's trading conditions did seem to be a lot different
Yeah, I agree.
from other firms.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of people was complaining about the slippage on that cap. But
Yeah.
I didn't really understand.
I didn't
it.
experience slippage.
I didn't. I did, but not to the extent that people were complaining about.
Yeah.
Because what we had with, when I was trading MFF, is they had around 20 cent worth of spreads.
Okay.
The slippage weren't bad. You'd be in it straight away.
Yeah.
But with 8 cap, you have around 12 cent worth of spreads.
Okay.
So when I enter in and I have that little bit of slippage, it makes it a 20 cent entry.
Yeah.
So it's the exact same to what I was trading before. But
Okay.
the only plus is I weren't getting siphoned for cash with commissions.
Yeah.
I was getting into the trade and I'd go my way.
That's
But,
good.
yeah, I think people complain about spreads and slippage when they know they're going to be wrong quite often.
Yeah.
If you know you're going to be right, it shouldn't bother you too
Yeah.
much.
I agree.
Only if you're being taken out of trades early or getting in late or whatnot, or
Yeah.
missing trades, that's when it becomes a problem. But when people are entering into trades and they're still complaining of their manual entry, why are you complaining? I don't really understand the complaint. You should know which
a bit
direction
wild.
price it is. Yeah, yeah. You should know which direction your trade's going, and if you're right, you shouldn't really complain about a couple pips.
Yeah.
It's not really that big of a deal.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. So overall, your experience with Bespoke.
Yeah, that's what it's talking about. Yeah, I think, yeah, Bespoke, I must say, it's a lot better than MFF. I've liked it a lot better than MFF, especially with payout times.
Okay, that's good.
Payout time's been incredible. I think it's been great. It's always been within, I think, 36 hours was
That's
the
good.
latest it ever come through. I think it's below 36 hours, but I'll say 36. But
Yeah.
I think, with payout times and everything like this, it's been incredible. It's been really, really good.
Okay.
I genuinely haven't really got any complaints aside
Okay.
from Think Markets.
Amazing. That's what we love to hear. So we have a theme going on with these podcasts, which is the previous guest asks a question for the next guest.
All right.
So
Oh,
your
interesting.
question is
Ooh.
from James, our last interview. And your question is, how have you handled and overcome... This might not be the greatest question for you, but we're going to ask anyway. How have you handled and overcome psychological challenges such as FOMO, greed, and emotional biases that can impact your decision-making processes as a Forex trader? So,
I think experience comes a lot into it as well.
Okay.
I think that's one thing we haven't spoken about today is the experience of trading.
okay,
Being in so many trades and as a scalper and watching so many trades play out, I've probably placed over couple thousand trades over this, this year stint. Yeah, probably a couple thousand trades over this whole entire year. And I think, once you've placed so many trades, you learn that it's all right, I've got another trade coming. I've got, if I'm taking 3 or 4 a day, I know that another one's coming later on. So I think that helped a lot with FOMO. What were the other ones? FOMO. There was a bunch there, wasn't there? There was a few. I was trying to remember.
FOMO, greed, and emotional biases.
Greed, bit of a painful one. You just need to close it. You need to just be happy with what you've got, or happy with the loss, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
You can't ever really be happy with the loss, but you just need to close it out and just be happy with it. And then the last one was emotional
Biases.
biases. I don't think anyone will get over that one really.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today. That has been a really fun conversation.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, great. That's
It's
really
fun.
good. Yeah.
Being the first podcast that I've done, I'd say podcast is. With class, is this a
Podcast interview? Yeah.
format? Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like, it's been an interesting one. This is my first one.
Love that.
We'll see if I can get on any more, eh?
I know. Now you've got the first one out the way, you can get on more.
Yeah, now the nerves are gone a little bit for the first.
Was you
for the
nervous?
first- A little bit. I think, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I was a little bit
Really?
nervous.
Aw.
I weren't earlier, but then getting here, you see everyone in the room. Then you see
You're
all the
like, oh,
equipment. You see the colourways going on. You see all the purple and
Yeah.
the pink. You think, that's a serious deal.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. All right. But once you get talking, everything kind of
It's just
calms
natural,
down a
isn't
little
it?
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but getting into it, I was totally fine.
Yeah. Love that. Well, I'm glad you've enjoyed it. And like I said, it's been a great conversation. I think people
fun.
at home are going to really enjoy this one. So yeah, as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you do not miss any of our videos. And you'll be seeing us again very, very shortly. See you soon.